With Steve Cully's guidance, we'll take the lead. On the field, we're unstoppable, we're never beat. In the stands, the crowd's alive, cheering for UConn. They won't give up the fight. From the first pitch to the final out, we're Husky Hardball, we've got the power. Husky Hardball-Uconn, let's hear it for the team. Under Coach Schumann, we're not gonna dream with Steve Cully.
All right, go ahead.
Under Coach who? Coach Schumann.
Well, that's what he is. He's Coach Schumann.
Oh, I didn't understand that.
And he's
named the coach of the team, not Coach Schumann.
He's ready to go. He's always ready to go. Coach Schumann, enjoying the snow. And the legendary icon voice of the Huskies, the best of the best, Joe D'Ambrosia. Joe.
Good morning, Snow Bunnies. How are you?
Oh, we are loving life. And just as you said, the UConn baseball team, Hook C, as I now know, they rebounded.
Right, you know that's
nicely.
not a player, Hook C.
Yes, Hook C rebounded nicely and won against Arizona in their series. And they started off the Wednesday night that we had the show. Oh, it was Thursday? Okay.
First game was Thursday.
The first game was Thursday, the 19th. They played Arizona in extra innings, which you said would be a big test for them going there. And they got off to an early lead until Arizona started coming back in the 7th. But we got to see again Maddox, Jackson Marshall, both played well. And what happened was, I believe it was the 7th. Yeah, it was the 7th inning. Arizona tied the game 3-3. And then UConn came back in the 12th. Jackson Marshall singled, scoring Rob Rispoli, and Maddox Delaney singled. Delana singled, and that knocked in 2 RBIs, and that put us up 6-3. We gave up 1 run in the 12th, and that was a big win in extra innings. And Coach Penders in his interview was very happy to see the team fight back and fight through adversity to get this one, because they gave up a lead before and lost, and they won here. Joe, what did you think, especially with Charlie Hale starting off as the pitcher?
Well, I think they got great starting pitching from Hale into the 6th, and then the hero was Greg Shaw. Threw 78 pitches in 5 innings of relief, gave up only 3 hits and didn't walk a batter, and kept them in the game until they could break through in the 12th. And then in the 12th, Marshall and Delana, your guys right in the heart of the order, came up with the big hits. Look, Arizona, which got to the College World Series last year, has only 1 win this year, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. So it's not a vintage Arizona team just yet, but that doesn't matter if you're UConn. If you're UConn, you lost the 3 games in Salt River. You got pummeled by Arizona State Tuesday night in Tempe, and then you had your pitching set up. Hale's not one of your normal weekend starters, but with a 4-game weekend series, he gets the nod and he pitches great. Into the 6th, strikes out 7, gives up only 4 hits and a run. Oliver Pudvar, who came in on what would be a throw day for him, gave up the game tying runs, and then they entrusted it to Shaw, and he went as far as he could, and Sean Finn came on and got the last out of the game with a strikeout. So, you can hit all you want, but pitching had been the problem the first 4 games in the series, and in this series, the pitching was dominant.
Dave, what were your thoughts?
I think that they're you're talking about the second game, right, with them. So, 11 runs, 12 hits. I
No,
mean,
this was the one they won in. Yeah, they won 6-4 in extra innings.
what about the one that took place?
Well, yeah, I was going to get to that after this one.
Oh, okay, all right. So the first one.
I think we're going in chronological order, Shu.
Oh, I didn't know. I go nearest. Yeah, okay, I got it. Yeah, obviously 6-4. The pitching was much better. I mean, I don't know. In college baseball, the pitching is for that game is great. 4 runs is really, really good, I guess. After seeing some of the weekend scores of games where people had like 30 runs, and so overall, after seeing a lot of the different scores that were coming out, I think that it puts in perspective those early losses a little bit too as well. But yeah, Hale 7 strikeouts. Shaw was excellent. He only allowed 1 run, and Finn closed the game out. I thought they were good. They had a 3-run 12th inning that won the game for them. So they played very well. I don't think they had any errors on defense. So I think that was a big part of it. And Delaney was 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs. Marshall had 2 RBIs. But the runs at the end of the game, 3-run 12th. That's the difference. That's a huge strike from them to win the game, and so I don't know. I think that first game and winning both in the series was a huge step for the team.
Yeah, it was, and we talked about pitching. And the second game as well. I mean, they ended up losing 5-4.
That was Saturday. That was the third game. Second game they won 4-0. Charlie West and
there was the shutout.
The Mayers had a 3-hit shutout.
Yeah. So the second game was the shutout, and then the third game was the one they lost, and then they won 11-2 the last one. So right. I mean, it was very good for them. They took the lead into the 8th. But I mean, it was just incredible for them to show the pitching and get the shutout, which was very important. As you said, Joe, they need to have 3 solid starting pitchers. And do you think Caden can be one of them after his performance? I mean, striking out 5, going 6 2/3.
Caden who? You mean Charlie?
Suchi. Caden Suchi.
Oh, so you just jumped to Friday. You just jumped to Saturday.
Which game are we on?
Okay, I jumped to Saturday.
First game or second game now?
Yeah, let's do them in order, boys, if we're going to do this.
So the second game was the loss, right? 5-4.
No, the second game was the shutout win, 4-0.
4-0.
Charlie, Charlie West, pitched 6 2/3 innings, gave up 3 hits, no runs, struck out 9. And then Paxton Myers came in and pitched 2 1/3 hitless innings, struck out 1, didn't allow a walk. And the big thing that Jim emphasizes in Josh McDonald is don't give up the free 90s, don't give up the base on balls. And they really limited those this weekend against the Arizona team that was pretty free swinging. So the fact that the pitchers had pitched with control was good. And then they manufactured run. I mean, Delana had 3 RBIs in the game. He had a sac fly, a bases loaded walk, and a fielder's choice. So he drove in 3 runs without the benefit of a hit, which is pretty unique. And that just shows, you can't just depend on power. You have to depend on being able to manufacture runs, and they did that Friday night in Tucson.
Yeah, and
you're using in these games, you're using a lot of different guys from a pitching standpoint each time. Each time you're using a different group because they're playing so quickly back to back. But West was, I mean, the shutout that's obviously a pretty darn good thing, and the fact that they're able to use different pitchers and actually, I mean, I don't know how good Arizona is, right? They have how many wins they have?
They were bad coming into this. I think they had 1 win coming in.
No, they had none.
They were none. Okay.
Yeah.
Their only
So
one of the season was the Saturday night
They
win
were on 5. Yeah.
against Tucson. They're not as good as they were a year ago when they got to the College World Series.
Do you know why Tyler Minnick had been out?
Yeah, he's hurt.
Oh, he did get hurt. Okay.
He got hurt in the Sunday game in Salt River, so he was out for the entire weekend. And they needed people to step up, and they had, excuse me, Palomeni did pretty well in center. Had 3 hits on Sunday, or Saturday. So yeah, I mean, you,
Those are
you
huge
guys are going to
shoes
get
to
hurt.
fill.
And Minnick's their best player,
Yeah.
but not by a long shot, because Maddox Delana seems like he's come back from his injury and he can play either third or first. Give Marshall a day off and let him DH. So winning those 3 games without Tyler is a pretty good feather in their cap.
No, yeah, for sure. And that and the pitching staff stepping up. And it's good to see Charlie. It's good to see Pudvar. And who do you think is going to end up as the main closer?
Oh, I think it's probably going to be the kid that went. It's probably going to be Shaw, and it's probably going to be Finn. Those are going to be the 2 guys who, it'd probably be a closer by committee, because obviously Myers came in what was a close game and closed the door. So I think it probably could be one of 2 or 3 guys, which is pretty good. Don't forget, you need a
Which is good to have.
You need a 4th and a 5th starter for the midweek games, which you don't just throw away. Those go away towards determining who gets to the NCAAs or not. So the fact that you had 4 strong starting pitching performances with Suchi pitching in on Saturday is a pretty good sign.
Yeah. Yeah. Saturday was the one that they lost 5-4, correct?
Yeah, Saturday got away. Saturday they fell behind. They tried to come back, and Arizona closed it out in the in the top of the 9th to win.
Yeah, that was the one that we had a little bit of a comeback. They took a 2-0 lead in the first inning, and then they had they had 2 more runs in the 5th, and then we came back in the 8th. It just wasn't enough, and then they got that 1 run in the 9th and ended up winning. But we're still getting solid performances from Rispoli, Marshall, like you said. And they just didn't pull this one out. And they had this is the one that Suchi I talked about pitching. I thought he did a pretty good job because he went 6 2/3, which is longer.
5
but he threw over 100 pitches. That was my question, Joe, because that's not typical.
Well, I think you want to stretch kids out at this
You do.
point of the season. I don't think 100 pitches. We're in an era now where 100 pitches, you think the kid's going to need an arm transplant. That's not the case.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, because that's why I asked you, because I've seen most teams will have a guy go for like an inning or 2 and then pull him, the starter, and then they go
We talked about that last week, Steve. That's teams do that just because they don't have enough starting pitching, and teams will do that midweek. But on the weekend, nobody pulls their starters after 1 or 2 innings unless they're getting their ass kicked.
So they try to go with them as long as possible.
Oh, absolutely. That's why they're your weekend starters, because they're your best pitchers.
He did a lot of rotation in the order too, as far as batting wise, like guys in different spots, played different players, but batted them in different spots. I noticed he did a lot of that. I guess he's trying to see which is a right fit for.
I think that one reason for that, Shoe, is because they didn't have Minnick, because Minnick's the top of the order guy. I mean, Rispoli at 1, probably Minnick at 2, Marshall at 3, Delana at 4. You can pretty much write those in pen in the batting order.
Right.
He slipped Menzel, who had a good weekend and is playing really well, into the 2 spot to take Minnick's spot, and he did well. Lane is normally and he's struggled so far. Connor hasn't hit the ball well, but he's usually a 6th or 7th guy in the order. And then you just mix and match with there because they didn't have Minnick. He had to rotate between Wachter and Belisario in center field. Normally that's Minnick. That's what Tyler's going to be this year is the center fielder. So, he tried, he played Peyton Jamison a little bit at third. Steve Thomas got some time as the DH. Yeah, he wants to see what he's got for depth and who he can depend on.
Yeah. Menzel's been pretty solid so far.
Menzel's been really good.
Yeah.
Menzel's been
Chase Taylor in the outfield. He was one of the transfers as well that came in. What have you thought of him?
He could be your regular left fielder. That's possible. I mean, he's only 3 for 13. He's played 6 times, but he could be a left fielder. Belisario, I don't think is a left fielder. He positions more as a center fielder, and he's kind of more of a utility guy, anyways. But yeah, I think Chase Taylor could be a guy who you see in left field.
Okay, so realistically, when Minnick comes back,
Marshall Jackson in the last game. What was the reason for that? Do you know?
Probably just giving him a rest.
Giving him a rest.
The day off.
Yeah. Okay.
So it would typically
he's
be
playing really well. He's batting.
He's been huge.
Yeah.
But it would be Rispoli, Minnick, Marshall.
Marshall who?
Jackson Marshall.
No. Who were you saying?
No, I said Marshall's batting like 330 for the year so far.
Oh yeah. No, Marshall. Yeah. No, he played yesterday.
And and I think Menzel's batting like 350, right? Those guys are really obviously with Minnick, that gives him 3.
Well, and Rispoli is
Rispoli's not he gets on, but
Rispoli's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't he more of like a fielder too though? Like
no, he's a good leadoff man. He's pesky. He's a good guy at the top of the order.
He's batting 200, right? 214, I think, right now.
But it would typically.
I wouldn't. He gets one 3-hit game. He gets 1 3-hit game, and that changes his numbers altogether. You look at it; he's got a 436 on base percentage.
Right,
which means he's getting on base almost 1 out every 2 times.
A lot. Yeah, he walks a lot.
But with it would typically be Rispoli, Minnick, Marshall, and Delana as your 4 top players at the top.
I would think that's the top 4 guys in your order.
Right. Okay. And then it's from
Menzel,
there.
Yeah.
Okay. Steve Thomas is the DH. Do you think that'll last throughout, or do you think Minnick will rotate in there?
I think you rotate people in the DH spot.
Yeah, but I mean, it was good to see the pitching at least improving, where they're not giving up a ton of runs. This was a close one that they lost, and then they were able to come firing back, which was good to see. That was the big win, the 11-2, I believe it was. Yeah,
that was yesterday.
That was yesterday. Oh, it was okay. Yeah, that was yesterday. So that was the big win we were talking about before, and we were on fire, and it gave us the series win over Arizona, which I know isn't as good since Arizona is 1-7 now, but it's good for us to get back on track, at least get some victories under our belt, get these guys playing together, gelling, especially with so many new players. And again, it was Jackson Marshall who had the early advantage with the RBI single in the first, and Oliver Pudvar went 5 1/3 with 2 runs on 8 hits, and like you said, Joe, no walks, and he struck out 3. And
bounced back from not a great relief performance on Thursday.
Correct.
They just stuck him in because it was his throw day, and they wanted to get that win. I've been looking the 3 games when Minnick was healthy, he batted third. It was Rispoli, Menzel, Minnick, Marshall, Delana, and Nader Wachter, and
Right.
Connor Lane batting seventh. Those are probably your top 7 guys most of the way, I would think.
Right. But I mean, they all batted pretty well in this game. I mean, it looked like, Rispoli, like you said, he scored 3 runs alone. He had 1 hit. Jackson Marshall was 3 for 5 overall. Gabriel Tirado was
Toronto.
2 for 3. And that was 3 RBIs knocked in.
Yeah, he's the backup
Menzel had 2
catcher. He'll
RBIs.
see time behind Connor Lane this year.
Connor,
I
right.
know they like him a lot.
Right. And Chase Taylor, 1 for 3. Nader Watcher was 2 for 3. 3 RBIs.
He's a good player too.
Yeah. So that was huge for them. And then Pudvar with the 5 2/3, 8 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, struck out 3, and 79 pitches. And then they went into Drew Smith, Paxton Myers, and Sean Finn closed things out, if you want to call it a close. But that's pretty good, only having to use the 4 pitchers and not using them for a lot of innings. They got only 2/3 out of Drew Smith. Paxton went 2 innings, and Sean Finn went 1. But, it really looks like they're starting to get back on track. I know it's not a great Arizona team, but what are your thoughts, Joe?
Yeah, I think we said last week, Steve. I think it's early.
They're
They
gelling.
haven't been outside. Now they've spent 10 days out west. They get to come home today to the blizzard. I don't know where they're going to land. They were supposed to come home on
right to UNC Wilmington.
Well, maybe because
yeah,
they play there on Friday. So I don't know what the plan's going to be, but I don't think they'll go right there because there is class.
Right.
You guys go to class?
Baseball players do, Shoe.
Yeah, the baseball.
I know football players didn't in your day, but baseball players do.
Well, I saw a really interesting video of oh God, where did he come from? I can't think of the player, but he transferred to Notre Dame, and they're interviewing him. He was at I think maybe Ohio State before. Yeah, it was Ohio State, and they asked him, "What's the biggest difference between the 2 places?" He's like, basically, the expectation, all that stuff was similar. He said, in Notre Dame, you got to go to class.
He actually said that out loud?
They go virtual. They're virtual, basically, obviously. But I thought that was hilarious.
He said that out loud? Oh, my God.
Pretty good.
You actually have to go to class at Notre Dame.
I'm sure they appreciate that at Ohio State.
Yes, right? I thought that was so funny, that video.
I'm sure they enjoyed getting talked to.
And he wasn't trying to be funny. Like, he was just saying, like, he was almost saying, like, like they're, Notre Dame's such a high academic school. They're demanding us to go to class. Whereas Ohio State, he did it all virtual.
Oh, my God.
They're still I just texted someone with the baseball team. They are still determining if they're going straight to UNC Wilmington or not.
Yeah, because I don't think there's any flights in.
They'd like to be able to come back here at some point, but when you have to fly out on Thursday for the next weekend series, if you can't get out today, you're probably better off going right to Wilmington.
No doubt.
So it's typically they'll play 3-game series. If they don't play one-offs, it's a series they'll play.
Oh, not on the weekend, no.
Right.
No.
And then once they start conference play, is it the same format as far as scheduling?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, unless for Easter weekend, then it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, UConn has 3 games with Wilmington.
Right. Well, that's typical. If it's not a tournament like the first weekend was, they go for weekend series. I mean, don't forget this isn't spring break yet. Spring break, you're going to be on the West Coast. They're going to be in Portland for 3 games, and they're going to go down to play more games in California. I've been looking. I have the Bradley Airport website out. There's nothing coming in. Everything is
Yeah.
canceled
Yeah,
until 10 o'clock tonight. So
You know what's so interesting? I'm looking at UNC Wilmington's schedule, and they play so many games in a week. These teams.
well,
Well, I
yeah,
mean, when you look at it, UConn played 8.
Right.
UConn played 8 games in like 10
last
days.
week. Yeah.
That's tip. That's tip. Once you get in the conference season, normally you play 2 or 3 midweek games. Like you look at UConn's first week of the Big East season, they host Xavier, who's the other big contender in the league, for 3 games here. They go to Boston on Tuesday, and then they've got Creighton for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Elliott. Then they play a midweek game with Butler. Then they go out to Indianapolis. They play a midweek game with BC. They go out to St. John's. So it looks like they've changed a little bit of the schedule this year to only play 1 midweek game most weeks. Although late in April, April they have a game at Rutgers, and when they have their bye week in the Big East, they're going down to they're hosting East Tennessee State at Elliott. So it looks like they kind of changed things up this year on schedule wise, only playing one midweek game. So what you're probably looking at, boys, is the 4 kids who pitched this weekend who started are probably going to be your 4 starting pitchers. I think that who was it who pitched Thursday? Whoever it was, Charlie Hale is probably your weekday starter, and then West, Suchi, and Pudvar are your weekend guys.
So why do they differentiate between a weekday starter and a weekend starter?
Your weekend starters are better.
They're better. But that's the only reason why you use your best ones on the weekend, because
you want to win conference games.
Okay. So looking at the non-conference schedule coming up, what are your thoughts on UNC Wilmington, New Haven, and then they got a 3-game series against Old Dominion? Are those teams?
I don't know. I mean, New Haven's in its first year of Division I, but they've always had a good baseball program. They had a legendary program in Division II, so I don't think they're gonna be awful. UNC Wilmington, traditionally a pretty good team. Old Dominion, a good team. BC, they had 2 interesting games with last year where there was a little angst and venom back and forth. BC was bunting and stealing bases up 10 or 12 up at UConn, and UConn returned the favor when they went to BC and beat the crap out of them there. So that's always interesting. And then they go west for the Portland, Cal, Santa Clara, San Jose State, San Diego State.
That's crazy. Portland has a Division I baseball team?
Portland's got a lot of good Division I sports.
Oh, okay. I had no idea that they did. But, I mean, Cal, Santa Clara, San Jose State, I mean, that's good competition typically, right? San Diego State, when you play teams out west.
Very good competition, yep.
So by the time they get back for Quinnipiac, which is a one-off, and then you said Big East play Xavier, they're going to be definitely battle-tested. They're going to have it figured out, their lineup and their pitching, like you said. They have their 4 starters, and they're going to have who they trust in the rotation. That should all be solidified, but they have a reasonably difficult schedule.
It's typical for northern teams to play teams from the South and the West when you can't get out. I mean, that March 3rd game against New Haven, good luck with getting that played.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we had a lacrosse game scheduled for Wednesday that they've had to move inside the Schenkman Center because they know that Maroney won't be ready for it by then. That was moved last week, which is unfortunate, which means we can't televise from inside there. But no, the idea is to tone yourself up against good non-league competition, and get ready for the gauntlet that is the Big East.
And overall, I mean, after you see them a little bit more against UNC and maybe Old Dominion, you'll have a better idea of what kind of team we have. Or do you feel like you know right now where we stand?
I think we've got a real good team. I think once Tyler Minnick comes back, that lengthens the lineup out because you stick him in the 3 hole, you move Marshall to 4, Bat Maddox, Delane to 5. He's off to a really good start. And you know, and you go from there. And I think we know what the pitching's going to be. I think we know that it's the 4 kids who pitched against Tucson, barring injuries or somebody, you know, not getting the job done, who are going to be who are going to be the 4 starting pitchers.
Charlie West, Charlie Hale, Pudvar, you think those are the 3 top guys?
No, I think Suchi's in there.
Suchi's good. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Suchi's the number 2. I think the weekend is West is 1, Suchi's 2, Pudvar's 3, and Hale's your weekday starter.
And then as far as your relievers and closers off the bench, you think Shaw obviously
I think
plays
Shaw and Myers. I think the guys who pitched the most this weekend are Sean Finn. I think those are the 3 guys who you're going to count on to try to close things out late in games.
Have they had any changes to their coaching staff? Their
not for 15 years.
So they've had the same guys, the associate.
They have the longest tenured coaching staff in college baseball.
The longest tenured coaching staff in college baseball. That's impressive.
It's very impressive.
Because it was Penders who took over for Baylock, and he's been there ever since.
Yeah, Chris Pedez has been with him as a volunteer head coach since day 1, and then Josh and Jim came on in 2012.
Right.
After they went to the Super Regional, and a couple of Steve Malinowski left. I forget. I'm blanking on. Elliot Glynn left. Take over at Hartford, and then Jeff Horgan and Josh McDonald stepped in, and it's been the same guys for 15 years now.
And somebody asked about recruiting for baseball when they're recruiting high school kids, because obviously they can't take them as seniors. How does that typically work? Are they followed? Do they go on the road recruiting? When does that typically take place? Is it in the, when they're playing Legion ball or summer ball where they go?
Well, I think a lot of it's done with summer ball now. I think Josh McDonald's the recruiting coordinator. And they're tracking guys. They're hearing from people. I'm sure they've got their eye on guys who are sophomores and juniors in high school now, not just seniors.
Right. Right.
It's like basketball. Basketball is the same thing.
Right. And they only took 7 freshmen this past year, and they took I think you said it was 25 transfers.
No. 25.
No. Oh,
no.
Okay.
I think you said 15 transfers of 5 high school.
I think that's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, that was what you said.
And you think that's a model they'll probably stick with? They'll take less freshmen.
I think you'd like to build. I think that's a lot of that. It's just because of the way last year ended and the disappointment in getting shafted out of the NCAA tournament. I think they went for a quicker fix, and and again, they've had great success getting Division II and Division III guys to play here. Like Chris Palomeni, the kid who filled in center field for Tyler, was from College of Staten Island. He was his conference's player of the year. He slugged .751 last spring. So, they've had Ben Huber, what was a terrific D3 player who was a all-conference first baseman for UConn. I mean, they have a history of being able to bring kids in who have gotten it done. I mean, Evan Menzel, I think he's the transfer from Maine. He had a terrific freshman year at Maine, wanted to come play at home. He's a Coventry kid. So, yeah, I think it's a mix. I think they combine.
And they take a lot of New York kids, too, it looks like. They've taken some New York kids.
Some.
Staten Island.
I don't think it's a lot.
Okay. Because that was surprising to me to see Staten Island Governor, Staten Island. Because, New York, that's not, I don't think we're known for our baseball. Setauket, Ward Melville, and a couple Connecticut kids. But yeah, and they also have some graduate kids, the graduate transfers, which I think is good. Wow, the Morgan School. So they have really built a roster from everywhere.
Well, Morgan School that's just Clinton. That's a high school. It's Morgan High School. They call it.
No, that's why I'm shocked that they took a kid from there. I didn't think they were.
Oh, they took a kid from Old Saybrook. Connor Lane's from Old Saybrook.
Wow.
Was Gatorade Player of the Year.
Wow, I did not think they were that good. But they put together a different type of team, but that's why I was asked about recruiting. So they have their eyes pretty much on the sophomores and juniors, and they look through pretty much summer ball when they're playing either Legion or whatever, and because it's not like they can go on the road now, right? It's not an active recruiting season like football.
Well, the high school baseball season in the Northeast is so short, it's not even worth it.
Yeah, it's March really through May, so there's no point. So
no, it's not even March; it's April and May in the Northeast.
So then are they even allowed to go on the road if they wanted to?
I'm not sure. I can't tell you that.
Yeah, I didn't think they were, because it's different. I know a lot of teams play. Some high school teams play fall ball as well, but it's club teams. So they could obviously recruit them, but they play then as well, right? They play in the fall.
Yeah, they have fall practice and they play a couple of games. They have their alumni game. Yeah, but the only team. Most of the teams who play in the fall are high school teams. They're not varsity teams. They're just travel teams.
Right. That's what the summer league, a lot of them are too. Dave, with recruiting as well, the system that the service that you created, that could obviously work for baseball too, correct? It would just change around the intel to target certain areas, certain transfers.
You mean if I built a parallel program?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It would be the exact same, right?
It would be similar. The resources are different. You have different resources for baseball than you do for
the different services that they use.
Yes,
because it's not like there's Huddle for baseball.
You have Perfect Game. It's a different services. It's really what's about. You just got to go to the different services. But yeah, it's the same model. Yeah, absolutely.
And Joe, do they rely on like watching film just like any other sport to recruit guys? Do they watch games? Is that how? I think
they watch tape. I'm not sure it's film anymore, Steve. I think it's all videotape.
Well,
I think they watch tape. And they have a network. They have coaches, high school coaches who they've dealt with in the past. They have alumni in the area who they might talk to and say, "Can you go look at a kid and stuff?" And then they put out all that information together and decide who's a target. And it's not just recruiting every kid; it's recruiting kids who want to come and play under this system, under these coaches and stuff.
Yeah, they're known for having such a great culture and a great coaching staff and camaraderie as a unit, which is, it's not like the current college landscape where it's just buy the best player, and they're really lacking that, and it's just crazy to see. So that's what I like about the program is he focuses on building a culture, building good kids, and it translates to the field for the most part. Wouldn't you say, Dave, that's kind of unique to what we've been seeing?
With Penders?
With college sports in general. College football, college basketball.
Yeah, of course. I think that's, a par for the course. I think what makes UConn so unique is that Penders played there. And and the continuity. It seems to be like UConn having that continuity in baseball. UConn was good with, 20 years ago when Baylock was there. 24, they were good, but Penders has gone to a different level.
Taking them
Really
to the next level. Yeah.
a different level where they're a national level program, which is really, really, he was able to build off that foundation. And obviously, like, what if they had? It went right, Joe, from Baylock right to did it go right to Penders? Was he the next one?
Yeah, 2004.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's like, I mean, that's pretty amazing. I mean, what if
And-
they had two coaches in 50 years?
And Penders played for him and then was an assistant for him and then took over for him. So
Well, they've only had like 3 coaches in like 75 years, going back to Larry Pansiera.
Really?
Oh yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. It's quite. It's kind of like what the Steelers have
yeah,
in the NFL now. Of course, that'll be broken with
right.
Mike McCarthy, who will still be there for 20 years, like Tomlin was. But yeah, no, they have they've had like 4 coaches, counting J.O. Christian, going back maybe 100 years.
He did both baseball and football.
J.O. Christian? Oh yeah, he did everything.
Oh
yeah.
The old days. That's when guys you had to do everything.
Right, exactly.
I know Baylock did.
You had to.
Baylock did.
There was no money.
I know Baylock did. Well, I know they had to teach and do all that too, but wow. And you believe for the Big East, it's going to be Xavier. Did you say Butler and St. John's?
UConn, Creighton. I think
Creighton.
I don't know how good St. John's is this year, but they're normally pretty representative.
And not Xavier.
Oh no, Xavier. Yeah, no, Xavier and UConn are the top 2 teams in the league.
They're the top ones.
So since 1934
George.
or 1936, they've had 4 baseball coaches.
That's unbelievable.
J.O. Christian for 25 years, Larry Pansiera for 17, Bales for 23, and now Jimmy for 23.
Jeez.
And Jimmy's not that much older than I am, so he could be there another.
No. I mean, I'm pretty much sure he played.
What, mid-50s maybe, Jimmy?
He graduated in 94, so yeah.
Yeah, he played when you did.
Yep.
Figure he's probably 53, 54.
Yep.
So I hope they're able to get out of there, but if they're not, they end up staying the night, then they'll probably have to go right to North Carolina. If it's gonna be bad, and then it's gonna be bad next week, like you said. It's not gonna be very easy playing Quinnipiac. New Haven. I'm sorry, but that's
a week away. I'd say let's get through the weather this week before we worry about next week.
All right. So, what are your thoughts on the UNC series? I mean, they got things moving in the right direction. They seem to have figured out their pitching. Hopefully, Minnick comes back. Do you think that they keep it going against UNC Wilmington?
Yeah, I think all you want to, I don't think it even matters. The wins and losses doesn't even matter that much. I think what you want to see is keep getting good at bats, see the pitching stay consistent, have people play to their roles, don't play sloppy baseball, do the things that you need to do to be successful when the conference season comes around.
The fundamentals.
UNC Wilmington is 4-3 this year. They lost 2 out of 3 to Maryland. They beat Merrimack, and then they took 2 out of 3 from Fordham. They've got games tomorrow against Duke, Wednesday against Charleston Southern, and then UConn comes in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Games you can only watch on the hideous Flow Sports?
It's Flow Sports. Oh,
Yeah.
because they were on ESPN Plus, but
Well,
it
that's
was
because
only,
Arizona's.
it was only because it was Arizona.
Well,
Okay.
Flow Sports sucks.
Flow Sports is the worst streaming service known to man.
Yes.
Is it really? I've never used it.
Oh, it's hideous. It's hideous, shoe.
Yes.
Really?
Flow's
The
very bad.
production's bad. Everything about it is bad.
Wow.
No, because I saw on ESPN Plus
They got
and I was
so
impressed.
much investment money, right? I think they
What's
did.
that?
I think they got a ton of investment money, that company. That's crazy.
Well, they're a streaming service, but I'm pretty sure they do more than sports. But they're just awful when they do sports.
Right.
It's not their cup of tea. I'm surprised. I thought we had our own streaming service for this, but no. I mean, the ESPN.
Yeah, we do, but we don't do it on the road. We have UConn Plus.
Right. So okay. So they don't do it on the road. Okay.
No, we don't travel on the road.
But the ESPN Plus games were very well done.
Yeah, I thought the talent was good. I thought the production was good. Graphics were good. I thought it was big time.
So it'll be a big drop off with Flow Sports.
Well, if you can even watch it.
Dave, your thoughts
I've
against
never watched it on Flow Sports, so I have no idea. Thoughts about what this upcoming week or?
Yeah, against UNC Wilmington.
UNC Wilmington's so far, middle of the road team. I think we'll probably be. They played a lot weaker teams. I think they played like Fordham and some other. Yeah, I think. No, they played Maryland. I think the first.
Yeah, Maryland's pretty good.
Yeah, Maryland. They played first. Maryland,
and they've got Duke tomorrow. So
they won one against Maryland, right? Of the three.
Yeah, they took 1 of 3.
Yeah.
So they're not bad. I had it up before I pulled it down, but yeah, I was looking through it. They're like a middle of the road, But like the South, you anywhere in the South, really, a lot of these programs that play all the time are pretty good. You know what I mean? Like, it's just better weather. So, but yeah, I think we'll do well. I mean, I think we'll start to get on track. I think we started off with a really tougher,
Well, I think, like Joe said, being outdoors made a huge difference. Getting that experience to play outdoors, to play in good weather, that was something they hadn't experienced in months. So now that they're getting that, and they're going to have UNC, and then they'll be down to Old Dominion. That'll definitely help them as far as coming back and having to play in a snowstorm and be inside.
Right.
So I think that's a good advantage, and it'll continue, like Joe said, to help them develop and work on, like he said, the fundamentals. Don't walk people, don't have errors, don't hurt you, don't beat yourselves. Control what you can control. And with Minnick, hopefully they get him back. They'll have a great lineup, and they'll be able to score runs as long as they can contain people. They should be fine. But like you said, playing the teams down south, it's we'll see what happens. If they win the series, great. If they're 1-2, great. We'll move on from there.
Right.
But for the coach Schumann, you ready to go? The icon, legendary.
What about the UConn? You guys probably talked. You didn't? We haven't talked yet this week about. Basketball loss, right?
Oh, that's Wednesday, shoot.
No.
Yeah. I know. I'm never on that show. I want to talk about it.
Well, I think also Wednesday it's interesting too, because the Jason Candle and his coordinators are doing a media session at People's Bank Arena before the St. John's game, and then they're doing a panel discussion with donors and stuff in the club section of People's Bank Arena on Wednesday. So I think it'll be easy to get their thoughts. Interesting to get their thoughts.
Yeah, Burton told me because he's coming back for it. He's going to Georgia, and then he's coming back for it. So that's going to be interesting to see. I'm excited. But but they you got to give them credit for the win Saturday. They got the win against Nova after a slow first half. They did get that. So Wednesday is going to be big. Wednesday's going to be big, and we'll talk about it then. And you should just cancel your show and do it with us. So for the coach, Joe D, the icon, legendary voice of the Huskies, the best of the best, I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Remember, life gives you lemons. Don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges. Throw them right back at life.